with both the Qiyana as well as the Wukong be laid down there for jungle bans, and that does set up Peanut for some more possible picks. You know, Poppy Realm type of stuff. Best of ones are so much different from drafting though, from the fearless best of fives that we have gotten. So let's get into it here. As far as the power picks that are up, you know, you've got the Jarvan, you've got the normal junglers as well. Okay, there you go.
All right, there he goes.
Lots of playmaking available with this champion. As you highlighted, it's available early on in the game too. Even though FlyQuest didn't necessarily get that in the previous game. We'll see if Peanut can do it. I mean, Peanut does like to go for 3 camp ganks as well. He likes to go for level 3 stuff. Jarvan's even capable of going for level 2 stuff, so we'll see.
All right, I'm excited for some early game Jarvan. When I see Jarvan locked in, I put him in that same kind of bucket as like Lee Sin or Nidalee, where I want to see you active early on the map. A full clear into a full clear, I'm not feeling Jarvan on that. I want to see some more creativity, and hopefully we'll get that out of Peanut. Over on the other side, though, Yunara, this is one of those bans that we're often seeing in the first 6 in a lot of these games. Not so much here in this one, so that means that AL is going to get to lock it first and foremost here for Hope, and Kael will pilot the Neeko beside it.
Yeah, I like complementing it with a Neeko because it puts a lot of pressure level 1. Level 1 Yunara with the Q power, and then having a Neeko with you puts a lot of threat on whatever duo lane you're going to focus towards. Plus, gives you a lot of playmaking for later. So when you want to fight a lot, that is looking like a good way to do it. Get Kael on that Neeko early on. Meanwhile, HLE answering with Viper. KAisa here very quickly. What support do we want to answer? So are they just going to put Delight on that Engage champ that you kind of expect, or let Engage drop till later? Of course, as we said, just best of 1, so he's got all the Engage champs you could possibly want for later, still will be available. And looking at Zeka first here, he's hovering some exciting ones. We'll wait though, Flowers. We'll wait. Ryze has been a very popular early pick, and we do go with the Ryze once again here. Instant Cassiopeia though,
that
answer.
Was fast.
All right, Shanks Cassio, once again, we did see this one as well previously. So into the Ryze, the matchup not necessarily such a big counter anymore, but is still a very common answer pick here, and does give you a lot of AoE for the team fights here for AL. Let's see as we look at the top lane though, because that one is dropped. Do AL want to ban out some Delight champions for bottom lane too, since they could whittle down here on the possibilities to pair with KAisa? Yeah, you think the Leona type stuff with the Nautilus and Rel options here, but it is gonna, whatever it is gonna have to play into the Neeko lane down bottom, so it does complicate stuff.
Okay, Xin Zhao banned away here, one of those very popular meta junglers. Despite the fact that he can play a more facilitatory role, if he gets ahead, he can also carry pretty hard from the jungle, and that kind of goes along with what we were talking about with Tarzan being a man who can really carry from the jungle, so taking that out, not super surprised to see, as what is our last ban of the draft going to be here for AL?
I mean, Tarzan can literally play anything, so it is hard if you're like trying to target Tarzan. You got to cover a lot of bases, so they don't want the Xin because the Xin does bring a lot of structure to the fights and is problematic to fight around with the ultimate, buying so much time and kind of forcing you to commit in closer, and they don't want to have to commit in closer when you're playing into Cassio and Neeko.
Yeah.
It provides like, you're like, well, we want to
it's a trap.
Can't really deal with the Xin as well as the Neeko Cassio as far as these team fights, and so they do take that one out. All right, throwing out the Vi as well for the point and click.
That is 4 out of 5 jungle bans for the side
Tarzan's
of
pretty
HLE.
good.
Yeah, turns out when you're up against this guy, you want to put some priority on that. But I do want to see what they lock in here. I would expect this to be their jungle pick so that they can have counter pick for the top lane there on 5. So anyone's legend, what are you going to lock in? This Pantheon is another powerful choice there in the jungle. So much playmaking potential, so much ability to instantly appear at a fight and turn the tides with some smart map movements. And AL is one of the teams from the LPL that can play the map better than the other squads, better than some of the other teams that you would think of when the LPL comes to mind. So locking in a choice like Pantheon that has so much map presence for a player that has so much game presence like Tarzan, I really like this.
Yeah, point and click stun available to him as well. So can have answers. You're always thinking about how do we deal with Viper, and since Viper is on KAisa, short range is going to be kind of committing in. Then having some point and click helps out as well, in addition to the big AoEs of the Neeko and the Cassio. Delight Alistar, always like that. And
It's always a delight.
good little combination
Sorry. Shout out
with
to
the KAisa. You know what? I was just thinking, I've been missing Freak. You know,
We'll keep him here in spirit.
we talk to him every now and then, though recently. But nice to have some friendly reminders. All right, so we get the blind Ksante.
Okay.
What is it going to be here, Flandre?
Ksante working well, of course, into a lot of different matchups, generally super favorable into anything that's going to be a tank, since you can just become a tank normally, and also not a tank later on in the game. But Jax, also a pretty common matchup that we've seen historically into him, but Rek'Sai with the obnoxious top lane healing, that's going to be the choice instead here for Flandre. This powerful just meatball that will not go away or die. So tricky to catch Rek'Sai and punish her.
All great points, Flowers. You know why I love Rek'Sai?
Because you get to dig tunnels.
Well, no, because at this tournament, we have seen the Shy on Rek'Sai, and we've seen Bin on Rek'Sai, and both of them have trolled tower shots and given away kills.
With digging tunnels.
With digging tunnels. And so I love the comedy of Rek'Sai at this tournament, and I want more of that. If there's one thing I love, it is League of Legends. If there's two things I love, it is League of Legends and comedy.
It's funny.
Funny inters, funny deaths.
All right, well, we've got the Rek'Sai.
I hope we get some more of them.
So let me ask you then, and you're not allowed to factor humor into your answer.
Oh.
Which draft do you prefer? Excluding
No,
Rek'Sai?
you can't say
No,
the
it's
fr-
excluding
Oh,
Rek'Sai funniness.
man.
You cannot include that as a factor.
All right. Well, in that case, I like the HLE side of it. Seems like it is going to be pretty straightforward and easy to play. A lot more straightforward to play. But AL, let's see. I want this one to live up to the combined kills per minute stats hype, the bloodiness hype. I want the action to deliver as promised.
Well, I'm hoping we get that action out of our junglers, especially talking about how exciting this is. Peanut, a jungler who has been playing for so long. The dude who has wins with the most LCK teams of anybody. And this, we're talking about like the most difficult league to win. That's a pretty tall, title to have.
Yeah.
Very impressive stuff from him, going up against Tarzan, who we've already lauded his praises the entire draft.
Exactly. Huge jungle matchup here. Peanut, it is just, every time we talk about it, so emotional with him going to military service next year. So very important tournament here for him. Last one, the Legacy. And HLE, what can they do? So HLE as well were one of the really early adopters of lane swaps, as we saw so many people up on top side. By the way, everybody talking about the WE one doing it first, but HLE were very quick as well right after that. They brought a lot of eyes to it because they did it in the LCK, obviously, and they were one of the early adopters of it. So looks like they are going to continue with that strategy. Viper helping Peanut here take over the jungle first, and we are going to get the AD carry swap, of course. Worth reminding yet again at this tournament, we've increased the timer on top side. Just top side, not mid lane, so 4 minutes here for the lane swap detection lockout.
All right, Viper versus Flandre here, as the Acathian Rain's so very effective at farming up those minions and getting that early push if you want.
Yes, it is. Viper using it to great effect. Getting really good positioning there and able to push the Rek'Sai back off the wave. Blasted all the minions with your Q, as you say. Get a little harassment while you're doing it. And it's just so confident because Peanut has split the map, taken away the jungle on that side. They leave behind multiple wards over there. Tarzan, of course, you can see on the split screen. In the split jungle, and everybody mid!
Immediately they go for the gang. That's what we're talking about with the Jarvan, the EQ level 2. Shanks on the run, but the light's here as well. HLE chasing in full, but Tarzan and Kael are ready to try to help out their teammate. Shanks healing back up to 200 HP thanks to the potions. HLE looking for a little bit more, but there's the Tangle Barbs. Tarzan knocked back over the wall, but Zeka's in danger! First blood over to Shanks, and anyone's legend respond to the level 2 pressure, and they do it beautifully. A spear in the back, 2-0 AL.
Flowers, the difference between a level 1 support and a level 2 support is huge, especially when one of those supports is an Alistar. So if you don't instantly get the kill onto Shanks, and they didn't have enough damage to finish it. It looked great, right? You know, coming from 3 angles, you're just all of you converging on the Cassio, trying to get the early kill. But since they knock him out to the other side, they can't finish him off. They don't have any extra damage. And then Kael gets to come over. He was already level 2. So AL, even though Shanks received so much damage to him early on, they still get the 2 kills, and they're already living up to the kills and the action flowers in this game. Peanut comes, level 2 Jarvan, just as we wanted from Champion Select, and they go for it. Flash, 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 all 3 of them invested. Oh, great, but oops, we headbutted him, and he's still got his flash. So Shanks actually gets away into the healing arms of Kael. And even though Shanks has only 200 HP, which is the reason why HLE are like, fine, we can chase into the brush, we've got the HP lead, but they can't get back to Shanks. And so the combo here does so much work. Kael roots him into the stun from Tarzan. He flashes right back over the wall to finish it. Shanks ends up being the one, by the way, to get the kill. And so he cashed in. Tarzan cashes in. And that's exactly what you want for AL. Tabe happy to see that, of course. Them starting out with 2 kills means it's going to be overdrive now.
That is exactly what you would want there. If you get ganked at level 1, turned it around beautifully. Good stuff from AL, as Delight is trying to hold top up here, but that's a level 2 Alistar versus a level 5 Rek'Sai, so he's got to be a little bit careful with how aggressively he wants to try to hold this wave. He does it well enough for Viper to show up, but you always got to be a little bit concerned there. Ooh, nice Void Seeker to just knock Flandre off his tempo a little bit. As you could see at the same time, Tarzan moving back up towards this top side of the jungle. Just wanted to check the Krugs, it looks like. Now going to go ahead and recall. Shanks with the Cassiopeia with that early kill, like you mentioned. Going to have that extra power, even if the Cassiopeia isn't the old school hard counter to the Ryze that it used to be. Still a super comfortable matchup, still very scary for Zeka if Shanks continues to build a lead.
Yeah, and because of the early play, the early attempt on his life, and him actually getting the kill credit there, being able to play the fight from behind his jungle support, really set this Cassio up into a great position. So AL, with that early success, are going to be able to start early dragon stacking flowers, and that's going to be great for this comp. Is going to be easy burn for them. Peanut not even going to go over and check. Peanut, after the early kind of failure there from HLE on the first play, has decided, you know what, we're going into farm mode, trying to farm right back up.
I mean, it's kind of hard to continue trying to be super aggressive and make plays when both Peanut and Zeka and even Delight all had to spend their flashes to make that play, and then they still lost 0-2.
Yeah.
Like, Ryze is really vulnerable now. It's hard for Zeka to participate in fights. Peanut lost a big playmaking tool in that flash. Delight might still try something a little wacky here, but it looks like Shanks has no intention of walking a whole lot further forward. As now down here in the bottom lane, you've got Zeus going all in, looking for Kael back in the mid lane. It's Shanks under pressure here yet again. If at first you don't succeed, try again. HLE, it's the same 3 dudes ganking the same enemy dude in the same place, but this time it goes the right way.
Yeah, now is where you say, all right, now mission complete.
We did it, team.
Forget about the first attempt and all that went down, but they did get it, and they're doing it again. 3 people. It's a teleport up topside from Delight this time, and Jarvan's coming to gank as well. 3 for Flandre.
Okay, Flandre trying to get out of here, but it's the flash into the pulverize, into the headbutt. EQ combo from Jarvan, and Viper gets handed his first kill of the game. Rek'Sai's hard to kill, Kobe, so you gotta bring a lot of firepower.
Peanut and Delight, it's fine if you miss the first swing. They go and they keep creating the kills themselves here. Spellbook teleports opens up for Delight. They arrive at the same time. They get their successful play. So I would say that's 2 correct, jungle support ganks and only 1 failure. Not too bad.
That's good. That's a 66% win rate.
It's just that, okay, 2 of them died in the first one, so.
Details. Not really the not the important part, right? It is now a very, very slight gold lead for the side of HLE, but of course the Drake, like you already mentioned, going to feel great for AL, grabbing that one super early. 20 seconds on the clock until we get our Void Grub spawn. Was going to be interested to see if Zeus wanted to commit the teleport to get right back down to bottom lane, or try to maybe use it for a Void Grub play. Does just immediately commit down here to the bottom side. Flandre trying to get away. Does escape that third Intofo strike. Of course, still probably wouldn't have been any mortal danger since Zeus does not have the all-out ready to go yet again. So feeling just fine on the Rek'Sai for now, but the Grubs are on the Rift.
Grubs are on the rift, and we are positioned to fight them, Flowers. Topside push is gained here for AL. So Hope is able to push the wave in, allowing them to move over, but Flandre's here first. Zeus has no teleport, so Flandre has tunneled his way all the way over here. That's going to give them the numbers, and HLE are like, okay, fine.
Yep. And that's kind of what I was thinking when I saw the teleport from Zeus down to the bottom lane when there was only 20 seconds on Grubs. It makes it a little bit difficult to try to fight for those if AL's on top of it. Delight with the Hex Flash over the wall, and Delight is not in a very good spot, okay? Looks like it's beef for dinner. Feet of Warfare, claim for AL. Not sure either.
Delight?
Don't know. Hey, that one wasn't a Rek'Sai. So, see, you got your funny moment. Okay. It just wasn't Rek'Sai.
We did. Delivery received.
Okay. They got the food has arrived.
Beef delivery.
All right, so. All right, now I got.
Honestly, I kind of want to see the replay because I'm like, but you don't really want to see the replay, though. Okay, so anyways, we'll continue farming. You know, honestly, it's not like a crazy movement in the game or anything. Still fairly close here, so is still going to be determined by the team fights, and we'll see. You know, going to have a lot more options once we get these supports to level 6. Kael as well here. Oh, yeah. You know, on Neeko. Definitely going to be looking to soap some extra experience. I mean, this jungle invade, though, it's moving quickly. It's a realm warp over for a dive.
Okay, it's been 3-man plays all game. How about 4? Viper taking a kill credit yet again. Grand Starfall from Tarzan is not in time to try to save his teammate. And yeah, Shanks even going to use the teleport to get up here, but they're both too late. And HLE, with these constant overload plays, are farming kills.
Yeah, the speed of that one was critical there. Moving up, getting the early move for Ryze, and starting the Realm Warp, stealing away Raptors right before they go for it. Nicely done from HLE, surgically removing the Rek'Sai. So the Rek'Sai is having a terrible time, Flowers. My only gripe is that it hasn't looked funnier.
You wanted him to be digging through tunnels and get yeeted out of the tunnel or something?
Yeah, it could be in a more comedic fashion.
Okay,
but it is really good targeting. And Flandre is going to be a squishy Rek'Sai here because he is very far behind.
Yeah, you can see he still only has an inventory full of just components for Titanic Hydra, and it's not even like the big tanky, nice components. It's a bunch of long swords. So definitely going to take him a little bit of time to catch up here, as Zeus has his Bramble Vest alongside his Chain Vest. So very tanky against these AD threats on the enemy side, against the Rek'Sai, the Pantheon, the Yunara, as now Zeka going after Flandre, looking to continue this pressure. Takes about 40% of his HP. We're going to maybe force him to recall. We do have our second Drake of the game live right now, and Tarzan is immediately going to jump in after that one. It was AL that claimed Drake #1, so this will be them getting a nice early Drake stack going on.
Yep, continue the stack. Should be effortless for them. They just had a reset timer for Viper. So Viper here, as they said on the desk, is really a big carry focus for HLE. You know, getting his Kraken Slayer done. He's in a fairly good position here, and they do have a lot of players on the team that can apply Plasma for him to look for dives. Flandre already, though, look at Jarvan. Peanut is back. Peanut is on a mission again. Tunnel just used here for Flandre under tower. Peanut destroying the extra ones, but don't want to risk anything else here. Going for it. And means that bottom side of the map, they also have to be a little bit, you know, hesitant. And so Delight and Viper will just back off, you know, let the push come to them, take away some of the vision, clear out these wards, and everybody staying fairly safe.
Well, everybody except for Flandre most of the time on the map. He's been the target multiple times now. Honestly, I like the fact that HLE just has this game plan and they're going for it again and again and again and again. Of course, one thing that does end up punishing them here a little bit is the fact that since they didn't get the Void Grubs earlier because of the fact that Zeus was in the bottom lane, because he didn't have the teleport, that means that the alone time they end up getting in these side lanes on these turrets, when they get the picks from overloads, they're not able to take the plates as fast. But now Kael looking to maybe catch out Peanut. He's in the middle of 3. He's in the enemy jungle and he doesn't doesn't want to be there. He goes the EQ out, but the spear over the wall plus Flandre's damage executes him, and it's AL picking up kill number 4.
Peanut, one too many invades there. AL say, finally, we are going to defend our territory. This Jarvan has been running all over the map, right through our jungle. They close down on the punish, though. Nice little catch from them to actually punish this time around. It allows counter jungle now for Tarzan. Tarzan moves in, or actually no, they've got Kael himself taking Tarzan's form to go get the vision set up. The Raptor camps for Peanut remain safe.
Always got to be careful with Neeko, man. I'm so glad it says, like, it doesn't say the other player's name when she's transformed anymore now. That used to throw me off all the time. So we've got still the slightest of gold leads. I don't think we've seen a 1,000 gold lead for either side so far in the first almost 14 minutes here, despite the fact that it's been so action-packed, because both sides just keep finding these advantages back and forth.
Yeah, it's going to come down to some team fights for us, and those will be forced because of the dragon stacking of AL. HLE will have to respond, but Zeka on the rise, on the side lane, does want to be split pushing. And, you know, Rod of Ages is stacking up. Doesn't have the tier, though, so not going to have the double stacking. Meanwhile, the fight over Vision is getting a little bit heavy here.
Peanut and Delight will have time to clear out that ward before AL can continue stepping further forward. Everybody's gathering around this area because it's 30 seconds until the Rift Herald spawns. You're talking about, okay, the skirmishes have been going pretty even back and forth, so it's going to come down to the team fights. Rift Herald is commonly where you'll see those bigger team fights for the first time in the game, the 4v4s, the 5v5s, and I'm hoping that's what we end up getting here in the next 15 seconds as Zeka will manage to push up that next wave up here in the top side. Is level 11 now, does have Realm Warp available, does have his Flash available, checking in on Summoner spells, looking at everything on the side of HLE. It's only Zeka's teleport that's not around, but he's already in the area for the Herald. Over on the other side, everybody's pretty much got everything, so the next fight should be pretty explosive.
Just like a Ksante Rek'Sai battle, Flowers. Explosive.
Yeah, explosive. A true summer blockbuster down here in the top lane, bottom lane matchup.
While we wait, they provide the entertainment. All right, so Rift Herald is on the map, but Dragon is only 1 minute away, and the Dragon is going to have a lot more leverage in the actual game. So while we could see some efforts used here, and Peanut's heading right over to it to at least destroy some of the tunnels, the vision is on it for both teams. So if they decide to commit to it, it's going to take some extra resources. Let's see, both top laners do have their teleports, so we'll see though. Would rather invest more resources in Dragon. Dragon number 3 is actually quite pivotal because it's you know, fairly early into the game as far as the Dragon stacking actually started for AL. And once you get to the soul point, it does put a lot more leverage on, like, ooh, are you going to hit a smite fight steal or something later? Huge rewards, could get dangerous. You know, AL do have Cassiopeia, and so they could melt through objectives later on. You have to be very careful about giving over too many dragons to this team. A Cassio and a Yunara would be dangerous.
Okay, our top lane battle continues raging down here, but that dragon spawning in 5 seconds, you can already see Tarzan pathing straight towards the location. Viper and Delight just continuing to try to clear out waves at the same time, but Flandre and Tarzan have pretty decent DPS to take this thing out without the rest of the team needing to show up. However, Peanut, Viper, and Delight all heading over. Teleport also coming in now from the side of HLE. Dragon at about 60% health. Anyone's legend. They've still got control over the area for now. Another TP coming in, ready to reinforce HLE. Drake down to 3,500. Tarzan putting a little bit more damage into it. Delight gets bound up. There's your Pop Blossom. Finds its way out of 2 as Kael has to try to get away, but the Hex Tech Drake has already been secured by anyone's legend. Viper goes on a killing spree. Tarzan goes back over the wall, and Viper goes in. The killer instinct of the HLE AD carry is ready to rip some heads off. It's a triple for Viper. It's about to be a quadra. Flandre takes one back, and Viper takes revenge. It might have been a Drake for anyone's legend, but Hanwha Life eSports just obliterated the fight.
Viper Life is looking pretty good, but it is Delight. Look at this 3-person combo. So Kael goes in, he's trying to keep the Jarvan out. Okay, they get the dragon. Delight says, that's fine. I go in with my flash. I get 3 for the knockup to set up Viper here. So he got Hope initially. They force Hope's flash. As soon as Viper sees that, goes all in. They can chase on through. Really good engage there from HLE to get the extra kills. And Viper collecting all of them here, collecting all of this money. That's exactly where they want it all, so that he can carry the team fights later on in the game. And Flowers, you said it. All right, they got the dragon, which can pay off if you get some sort of crazy soul fight and you can steal it or something. But all of that focused money into Viper, that is a dangerous game to play.
Huge engage there from Delight, capitalized on by Viper. And when you think about HLE, when you think about how this team has struggled after their initial explosive start to the year with winning first stand, even in the games where they've had problems, even in the games where it looks like they might be losing, it's Viper who puts on performances that ends up clutching it and turning the game around. This is the guy that they can count on to be that shining light when the rest of the team might be underperforming. Fortunately for him in this one, it's not like the rest of the team is underperforming, right? You look at Delight and you look at Peanut and they both have 100% kill participation. The solo lanes are doing just fine. And now Viper is sitting on 6-0? HLE is feeling great about this game state.
They certainly are. As long as they can control the objectives as we progress further into the game. That is the one thing that that AL are going to try and upset this pathway for for HLE with. The Rift Ult has crashed and has made its way over to Shanks. Goodbye, Rift Herald.
I like the attempt at the long con on the Rift Herald, crashing it into the ditch and letting it walk up to the top lane turret, but AL was ready. Shanks will stop it.
Just extending her life, you know. She was going to go down earlier, so give her a little bit more of a scenic route towards death.
Towards death. Well, that's the end of the Herald. That's still a 3,000 gold lead for the side of HLE, but they will have that responsibility of stopping every Drake hereafter. It is a Hex Soul. It is very powerful. If anyone's Legend can secure it. And now, with 2 minutes on the clock till that spawns, an Otacon alive. I don't know, maybe we'll see an Otacon fight instead.
Well, we'll see about the setup first. Peanut going to start that vision work. Of course, the Light would, even though Hex Flash is great for Alistar, you of course would love your real Flash, as we saw in the last fight. It allows you to do stuff like the headbutt into Flash Pulve, for those really long, good-looking plays. But he can still be serviceable just with a Hex Flash, as long as you get your control wards down, you get your vision control there, give him some areas to be able to Hex Flash from.
Well, HLE will finally get the last little bit of damage they need on this top lane tier 1 turret here. I feel like generally you want to make sure the enemy team does not have their tier 1 turret in the area where Otacon is before you begin the Otacon. Can make things very difficult, but HLE are now going to start up that objective. Wards being placed nearby from anyone's Legend. They want to try to stop this. The Otacon's already down to about half HP, but so is Peanut. Teleport's coming in now from both sides. Zeus looking to go in, create a little bit of space, put pressure onto the back line. He's found his way onto Hope. Pop Blossom coming in, but it's not going to get a whole lot done. Zeus still finding the damage, and Viper's going godlike here into the back line. Kael is low, Flandre's down, as they will at least get a kill back on the anyone's Legend side. It's Viper down alongside his mid laner as Tarzan fights back, misses the spear. It's flashed away by Zeus. Shanks comes around from the side. Anyone's Legend with the huge team fight win and a 5-for-2.
Shanks comes in. He saves the day there at the end with the Cassio ult up against the wall. They're going to be able to get the Otacon. Let's look at how it started out, because you look at the top side of the fight. Zeus here goes right onto Hope, and Viper's going to follow him up. They actually get so much work done onto Hope. Zeus makes it look really good, so Viper goes in, they follow up. Peanut also follows, but then they actually take down Viper here. It is Tarzan using the Pantheon ultimate up to the top side. He takes down the Fed KAisa, the point and click. He traversed to the other side of the map, and then Shanks makes his way all the way around. He was able to slither all the way through after dealing with the other side of the fight, wraps around, flashes in to be able to close the distance and help Tarzan off of the play that Tarzan had started there to be able to finish. And now, here they go. Remember, Flowers, it was the objectives for AL, and they claimed the Otacon after all of those kills.
It went from a what, 3,000, 4,000 gold lead down to 500, and now the Drake Soul is alive. If anyone's Legend take this, they're going to be in a fantastic spot to win this game. Kill count 9 to 10, very close in that regard. The gold just so close as HLE still have control of this bottom side river for now. Anyone's Legend trying to grab themselves this blue buff. Make sure they got plenty of mana for the upcoming fight. Honey Fruit's already procced. Scryer's Bloom trying to keep an eye on if HLE already has it started up, but they do not. A Peanut versus Tarzan smite fight sounds like one way to determine how this game is going to go from here.
That is an unreasonable amount of tunnels down there for Flandre.
Oh, yeah, that's way too many. All right, that is pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie, you got me there. Anyone's Legend. HLE both squaring off around the Dragon. Peanut's gonna get caught by Flandre here off to the side. Dragon loses some patience, resets slightly, but now Delight's looking for some kind of an angle here for an engage. The Drake goes over to Viper, but immediately the defensive Pop Blossom on Delight to try to control him. Anyone's Legend have taken out the enemy support, but they need more because they've lost the Drake. Zeka wants to turn it around, but Shane CC bursts him down. Double kill to the Neeko of all people as Zeus, Peanut, and Viper all try to get away. Tarzan wants the Grand Starfall to try to get something back, but he can't quite get the distance in time.
AL collecting kills, collecting more flower petals with the value with their Otacon. So even though HLE do get the Dragon, AL will be pretty happy with the extra gold afterwards, take down the tower, get the 2 kills for themselves. All right, HLE do stall the soul, but it is going to be a tense one. Once again, grabbing that kill on Delight, taking down Zeka here through the chase as well. Want to see if they're going to be able to play the map afterwards, because taking down mid lanes outer tower. Thank you, observers.
Thank you, observers.
The nest, the Rek'Sai nest.
That really, canonically, I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Yeah, it wasn't super important, but it did look weird.
It intimidated them.
Yeah.
It intimidated their enemies. That's why they could get the kills and then the turret after. So it is still a 3-1 Drake advantage for AL. They've got the Otacon and the flower petals like you're talking about. They're up about 1,000 gold, but the win expectancy here, you can see how it just goes red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, red, blue. This game has been back and forth like that, just blow for blow.
Yeah, and if it is, a game like that, the team with Otacon here, as it progresses, is going to be feeling pretty good. Of course, you're going to keep running up against these timers on Soul as well. As they're just farming out these kind of lulls, you've got 3 minutes, a little bit over 3 minutes until the next one. HLE say, you know what? We're not going to actually wait. We're going to clear the vision on Baron and teleport out to it to apply some pressure first. AL currently are soaking both side waves right now, with both Cassio as well as Rek'Sai. So Flandre is pushing, but HLE are forcing the issue. They want to get that teleport out. They're just going to burn.
This is a really risky thing. They're going to look to take the Baron. It is secured by Peanut, but now AL's coming in to look to take the fight. The light gets bound up here by the Tangle Barbs over the wall as Shanks is now going to be the target. Viper jumps in with a killer instinct. He's already found Shanks. Now he's found Hope. It's Viper. Fangs bared, looking to win the fight. He finally drops as Tarzan and Kael try to fight back. Zeus and Zeka need to take down the Pantheon, and they'll get him. Kael, the only one to try to escape here as HLE claims the Baron, and a 4 for 3.
And they can immediately push. That is the 2 solo laners. Zeka, they can, Zeus is almost already at the inhibitor turret. Actually, mid lane was already heavily pushed. He's deciding if he wants to go for the reset. Doesn't have his teleport, so decides to push one more wave, but they will retain the Baron. That is critical for both solo laners. It allows you to split push with Baron later, still retains most of the value of the buff, and they just burn through it so quickly with Viper's damage on this one. Flowers, HLE get the objective, and then the fight afterwards, they all go straight for Shanks here. So even though the ulti goes off, the EQ from Peanut already lands, and so he goes through stun, lands the EQ, opened it up there for Viper to go through, and they barely kill him. Kael lands the Q over the wall to finish off Viper. Would have been really bad for AL if he hadn't been able to collect that last extra kill, but it was still super good for HLE. Bringing that back, and Flowers, another one of those dips in the gold graph.
Another swing.
This one is actually just such a banger here between LCK number 2 and LPL number 2. Otacon to one side, Baron to the other side, and Baron on the solo laners, allowing for HLE to push 2 waves if they so choose. All right, they're keeping Zeka in mid. His teleport is ready, and he can buy a lot of time too. Not only is Ryze fairly tanky, but has the Zonias completed for himself. Of course, it is going to be pretty delayed. Seraph for him this time around, so you don't get the extra shield quite yet, but it'll catch up in no time, and they can just push out here for one split push, take over the jungle while they do it.
Okay, Anyone's Legend on the defense now with HLE having 45 seconds left on their Red Bull Baron power play to try to push, get something off the map here, grab some of this standing gold in turrets. Of course, the only turret standing outside of the enemy base is this bottom lane tier 2, so that's where they're going to put the pressure. Why they steal away enemy buffs at the same time. Zeka and Peanut working on that one. Cool, whole team gets the blue buff, but it doesn't look like they've got a whole lot to try to force onto this tier 2 with. Next minion wave is about to arrive though. Flandre currently the only one defending. Tarzan making his way down here, but it looks like Anyone's Legend going to decide no, it's not worth it. Trying to protect that tier 2 turret. We can let that one go. So as soon as that falls, going to climb the gold lead up to about 4,000 again for HLE. And the problem for Anyone's Legend, Kobe, is that the dragon is spawning right now, right as the Baron ends, and it means that it's free to take for HLE. So again, they missed their chance at the soul.
Yeah, good methodical setup there from HLE. Push out mid, rotate over through jungle, get all your vision, push on bottom, bring over Ryze even, so that you don't even give the opportunity for them to try and go for a quick numbers play. Just have everybody there, full 5, take the bottom tower, realm warp over, take the objective, and secure yourselves the benefits of the earlier play, the benefits of that Baron. So after they've been able to really clean the map here, HLE once again moving in tandem here into the jungle, take over the vision first.
Well, one thing that I'm also looking at here, my friend, double Zhonya's Hourglass for the 2 carries on HLE. And I feel like this item is especially effective against Cassiopeia because of the fact that one of Cassiopeia's biggest tools is grounding you through the miasma. It disables a lot of escape mechanisms. Well, Zhonya's isn't any kind of a dash, and it's a very powerful defense mechanism, so I'm feeling like the target selection on AL is going to need to be very specific and very bursty if they want to try to win these fights now, as HLE will continue moving up and stealing jungle resources.
I think you're spot on the money, Flowers, and that burst that you mentioned also has to be targeted burst. It has to go into Viper. Like Viper, speaking of money,
he's pretty wealthy.
Is almost 5,000 gold individually ahead.
Yep. Almost full
4.5 basically.
Yep.
So yeah, it's definitely the issue. The Ryze cannot be ignored though. So even though it is not like popping up on screen quite as big, it is also still going to be an issue. It is not like this is just a single carry comp, but it is one of these carries is richer than the other. So
yeah,
we'll see about that. Viper here. Also, it always poses problems because when KAISA gets fed like this and you have the AP to do it, the Void Seekers really become a problem. Like the poke is annoying. So HLE have the options, like our split pushers are in good form, so we can get our side lanes going, and then you constantly are having to dodge these Void Seekers from Viper as well. And it provides a lot of problems where the minion waves are something you have to deal with, and then the poke dodge, and then you really have to choose your moment, and you have to be ready to pull the trigger and perform well in the fight without giving a lot of leeway. The Guardian Angel is quite nice for Tarzan though. Really is a game changer as far as the Pantheon, since you can like fully commit in there.
Yeah.
Use the ultimate super deep. You can point and click and try and force out the first set of defensives from Viper. He's got Flash, he's got Cleanse, and he's got that Zhonya's, as you mentioned, so it's gonna take a while to really, actually take him down, but you got to use a couple of waves of engage.
Well, we've got our Baron spawning here yet again. 31.5 minutes into the game, and it's HLE taking control over the enemy red side jungle just to make it so dark, so scary to try to approach this Baron, to try to stop HLE from securing another objective. Worth noting also Shanks having the Seeker's arm guard ready to go on his Cassiopeia, but now it's Zeka putting a decent amount of damage into Flandre as they encounter one another at the Raptor Bush. Tarzan's got to back away from this one. Zeus, tail end of the retreat here from HLE as they back out of the enemy jungle. AL will force them back towards the river now. It looks like nobody's going to go for the Baron start here just yet. Instead, more of those Void Seekers you were talking about getting fired out, just trying to look for a little bit of poke as AL still feels the pressure to continue to move forward, place down that vision, and make sure that HLE isn't going from an early Baron.
Okay, there's a moment here where Flandre has to teleport back. That teleport is decent amount of a cooldown. Shanks actually opening up some room for him though. Miasma's used.
Okay.
Small cooldown.
Redemption coming in. Zeus takes a little bit of damage. Delight tries to counterattack here. Finds Shanks immediately into the stasis there for the AL mid with the Pop Blossom. Also creating space for anyone's legend. The targeting everywhere. Zeus the first to die. Flandre's grabbing the kill. Anyone's legend's gonna run over the fight. Viper's gonna get all the way out of town, and Delight is dead too. It's 3 kills over to AL. The attempted flash for the Yunara W to take out Viper misses as Viper continues retreating. Flandre goes in. He tags him with a Prey Seeker, but the Rek'Sai ulti had already been used. There's no execute. Peanuts in the enemy jungle. He's all alone behind enemy lines. Another Twin Fang connects. He wants to... What? What?
Going to Hexgate.
Oh, I was trying to Hexgate, but the poison ticked on him and he couldn't activate it, so Peanut falls. And when it looked like HLE was in such a powerful position, it's anyone's legends going in for the fight, out team fighting him, and earning a Baron as a reward. And Kobe, look at that in the top left.
Viper's
the
going.
Dragon Timer is also just about to proc, and that's where Viper's heading.
Yeah, he's going to burn it down. And since they're going for the recall, I think he gets. Wait, it's just going to be Neeko support.
All right.
Just finish it, Viper.
Kael's got to try to stop him. I don't think it's gonna, unless he Pop Blossom steals it, there's no way! He got it! Kael with the miracle steal! The Pop Blossom to steal it away as AL now goes after the enemy AD carry. Viper's in some danger, trying to get himself away. Tarzan coming around on the flank. AL looking for more as Zeus wants to try to buy some time for his carry. Flandre still chasing after the KAisa. Zeka about to die as the Seraphs only keeps him alive a moment longer. Delight will be your next casualty. Tarzan takes him out with the spear. Viper still running, but he's running to the enemy base. It's a 2-for-1 that favors anyone's legend alongside securing the Hextech soul. And here he is again, the man with the plan who went all in, and he made it happen to steal the soul and win the fight after 3-for-1.
Oh, Kael, he gets it really nicely done because he goes in with the ultimate, locks down Viper, also chunking the dragon down to 76 HP, and then he can finish it off himself. So let's take a look. Viper there tries to throw off. He throws off the W, 400 damage, and the ultimate pushes him off. And during the stun there of the ultimate, turns over, finishes it. And with that soul, that should be so much extra power for AL to finish this game out. The full chase here comes through as Flandre flashes for the triple knockup. It gets a little bit scrappy, and Zeus is able, to actually take down Hope. So there's a little something there, but majority is going to just be massively. Oh my goodness. Tabe is popping off, baby.
Living his best life right now.
I actually just, his celebrations are some of the best coach celebrations when he gets super amped up and runs on stage. But AL with that, with Dragon Soul on top of everything that they have, with the permanent Otacon that they've had this game, now really is the time here for them to return and finish the job. That was so huge though, because we didn't actually ever get the replay of the fight that led to the Baron.
First one, yeah.
Because the first fight is where HLE tried to invest everything onto Shanks after Shanks had used the miasma, but they could not actually fully follow up. And anyways, that's too far in the past. Let's get a look at this siege.
We gotta live in the present, and presently, anyone's legend is forcing this advantage straight down top lane. HLE scrambling to try to defend, 4,000 gold lead, Dragon Soul, Otacon, Baron, everything AL could need. They have the Baron, however, about to expire. Red Bull Baron power play, 4,500 gold. Absolutely massive swing here for the LPL #2 seed, as they'll head back to their own side of the river. There are no objectives to fight over for about the next 3 minutes, but critically, they're both gonna spawn at right about the same time, and it's Baron and Elder. And these are some of the most intense game states in League of Legends.
And this has been one of the most intense games. Like this thing has gone back and forth constantly. Quite the banger already, and HLE are still capable of winning this. They just finished a death cap on Zeka. Viper is full build KAISA. So while AL have the permanent buffs of the Hextech Soul, while they have the Otacon buff, another slowing on death kill effect for themselves, there still are windows where HLE, if they can come up with the dream team fight, they could still see a way to possibly pull it back. But AL, they have so much in their favor at the moment, and again, they will rip through these objectives once they pop up. They can just burn down Baron so effectively that HLE will have to respect it.
I feel like if HLE is going to come back into the game again, it's got to be another big Viper moment. This has been so much of their comebacks as this game has pendulum swung back and forth and back and forth. Minute and 45 until that Elder spawns. Zeka gets slowed a little bit by the Hex Tech Soul, but anyone's legend not going to overcommit onto anything, not with Shanks up there in the top side. They do not want to toss away this lead that they have now re-earned for themselves. Baron in 75 seconds now as well. Still a massive gold lead for Viper, but the problem is, Kobe, we're at the point in the game where it means less and less because he can't buy any more stuff.
Yeah.
He's suffering from success.
As long as he's permanently drinking elixirs, then the best you can do is like change some items every once in a while, which doesn't really help that much, but does have a Void Staff as well. So maybe the play is to land every single Void Seeker and get a bunch of poke, but you're playing against a team that has Hex Soul, and burrowed Rek'Sai Qs can be really annoying as well. So we'll see if they can actually get some value there. Hex Soul providing some nice value already, and they get a flash.
Yeah, that's big. Flash off of Zeka's Ryze. So that mobility now eliminated. Zeus going on a, what I think was an attempted pincer attack. Now trying to turn around back onto Shanks, but now it's Kael forcing out the early stasis from Zeka's Ryze. Flandre buying time off on the right while Zeka continues to tank damage. Zeus going to be the first to die as Hope continues firing after him. Secures the kill there for the Yunara, and it's right 5 seconds before the Baron spawns. You talk about how fast these guys do the Baron, well now HLE aren't going to do anything about it.
Yeah, I think that one might be the nail in the coffin, Flowers. Baron for AL, Elder Dragon really soon here though, so 4v5, the last hopes of HLE. If they can somehow steal the Elder and make a miracle, that is their hope. AL though, they've got the Baron, they have the extra player advantage.
Put your hope in Peanut for a big smite here. Anyone's legend.
Just go for the fight. Anyone's legend, just go for the fight.
There they go, they're diving in. Delight's gonna be the first target, and he already lost 80% of his HP. Unbreakable will not live up to the name. Shanks puts the slows in on Peanut, and the rest of the team is ready to follow. Miasma keeps him close enough, and he cannot use his Cataclysm to buy any time. Now into the Petrifying Gaze onto Zeka. Anyone's legend just cleaned up 3 more. Zeus has respawned, but now it's only 2 players alive on HLE. They're trying to make a catch onto Shanks as he teleports in. They find some good burst, but he's still got the stasis. Kael defends him. Kael goes on a rampage. Anyone's legend looking to push down mid and win the game.
They're gonna do it, Flowers. Should be easy. Tarzan's looking for 1 more kill onto Viper, but it's actually going to Hope.
And Hope stands tall for Anyone's legend. It was a brutal 41-minute battle back and forth between the number 2 seeds of the top 2 regions at Worlds 2025, but Anyone's legend comes out on top.
Wow, that was a fun one. Analysts, I hope you had fun watching that one.
How could you not have fun watching that one?
You have to.
When we look at it, all signs pointed to the 77% of fans out there being right, to Ox being right. He said, Viper Life eSports, we were ready for some Viper Life eSports, and I'll be honest.
Hey, he tried.
For 20 minutes, we had Viper Life eSports. After that, though, what a turn from AL to hold on in this game, to bring it back in the fights, beautifully executed.
Like Wainan said, he was talking about them being Teamfight Kings. We got to see that at MSI. We got to see that, the first piece of that here at Worlds.
I think we saw them working so well as a unit. It felt like at times HLE a little bit disjointed. It really came down to Viper trying to make things happen in these fights, but it felt like especially the objective play early, the fact they got those early dragon setup gave them that route to the Hextech Soul, which you saw Kael able to secure later, but also the fight setup to come back into the game. It felt like the coordination was better, and as a 5-man unit, AL was stronger, whereas it did at times just feel like individual performances was what got HLE to that winning position, and some individuals struggling, I feel like, from the team.
I see the look on your face. See, they don't see you on